So I want to talk about imposter syndrome. I want to talk about the importance of understanding imposter syndrome and more importantly, having an awareness of how to overcome it. And with imposter syndrome, it can catch you at any given moment, man. It can catch you in very early stages of your career, or it can catch you very much in like senior leadership. And for me, imposter syndrome was really a thing that stopped me from doing many things because I just felt that I wasn't qualified enough to talk about these things or to do certain things or to position myself for certain opportunities. And imposter syndrome can be rough, man. It can be really tough if you don't navigate it and understand the ways to overcome it. It's a process, and fortunately, I'm in a place where I'm now understanding of who I am a lot more and understanding the tools that I can implement to help overcome elements of imposter syndrome or when I feel a bit out of my depths. But with that, let me share my screen real quick because I want to give a big shout out to Elizabeth Howlett. She's the editor for PRmoment, and she featured me on a article talking about imposter syndrome and really covering it in the PR industry as it was and what it means for all sorts of different PR professionals. And I was fortunate enough to be included in this article. So if I scroll down to my section as well, let me have a look. Big up Amira each and every time. Good peoples. Yeah, that's me. Check me out. So yeah, as mentioned from the article, I said I struggled with imposter syndrome a lot in the early stages of my career. And it's true. A lot of the time it was down to, you know, when I finished university, it was very hard navigating the job market and really kind of finding a way to get into the industry. I tried all various different ways of getting jobs, applying for different roles, getting like 100 rejections. It was crazy. And it was only through the Taylor Bennett Foundation, which is a charity which helps diverse ethnic groups get into the PR and communications industry. Had it not been for them, it would have been virtually impossible for me to get my foot in the door because the training and the program that they offered is honestly life changing. I wouldn't be here talking to you guys had it not been for the Taylor Bennett Foundation. So they've done amazing work and they still continue to do amazing work. Big up to them. But with navigating through that and getting my way through, it always came down to a point of imposter syndrome always lurking or always popping in my head thinking that am I deserving of these opportunities or like why am I the one selected? Even from when I was selected in the PR week 30 under 30, that was quite crazy to me. It was like immense levels of imposter syndrome because it's like I'm being awarded for this top sort of accolade in the industry where some of my peers will be like that's their mission or their objective in terms of being in the industry, and it just happened to kind of fall into my remit based on some of the work I was doing. I was never really thinking I need to get this award. It was never really in my intention of aiming for it, but with it coming into fruition, it was a lot for me to kind of sink in, and I felt almost sort of like, do I deserve this or am I worthy of such awards? And it took a lot for me to kind of really understand the implementations of what awards actually are for. And now, as a personal branding coach, I say that awards are 100% useful for leverage. It really helps you to present yourself in a way that stands out from your competitors and your peers in order to showcase yourself in a whole new light. And it's true. So I would say with awards in particular, don't necessarily feel like you can't or you don't want to do an award because it may seem egotistical. It is not about your ego. It is about leveraging and making people understand and realize the talent that you possess and how you were able to be the person to win an award and how much it means for your career. And through that, I just wanted to kind of go through 5 tips, I would say 5 tips or 5 sort of tools to help you get out your head when it comes to imposter syndrome, because it's tools that I use to this day, and hopefully it provides a lot of help for you navigating, especially if you're looking to build a personal brand that involves a lot of showcasing yourself in the best light and putting yourself out there. And putting yourself out there is as scary as it is already, knowing that you may face potential backlash, or people may jump on you when you say something particularly wrong or something they don't agree with. It can be a lot on your mental, and it can be a strain, and it can unleash elements of imposter syndrome where your head is saying one thing and it may prevent you from doing other things because you feel that the spotlight is on you, and not everyone likes the spotlight, to be fair. So with that, I would say number one is start collecting receipts. Number one is start collecting receipts. In the article, I actually did say on there, if I share my screen again, yeah, I created a folder called the good job reminders. So with that, previously when I was working in agency, any sort of good feedback, positive feedback, anything that said, well done, Tariq, fantastic job. I love the way you did that. I love the way you put this together. I would save literally every screenshot. I'm telling you, no joke. I would share every screenshot, because I realized that a lot of the time we will spend a lot of time saying why or thinking why we can't do these things. But then when I realized that I needed to develop a list of successes, the receipts of success and my wins, and all those particular things, it was a reminder to reinforce the fact that I am always good at what I do, no matter what. There may be days where it may not go to plan, or it may be off days, but in the grand scheme of things, I have all the reasons to say otherwise, that no, I am actually good at my job. I'm actually good at what I say I'm good at. And I actually have the receipts to showcase this, not only for anyone else, but more so for myself. And as I use that, the data points to suggest that is always there, reinforced on a daily basis. So no matter how small, even on a personal branding level, I always tell everyone that will listen to me, my friends, my clients, peers, develop a list of your wins, your losses, bracket lessons, because every loss is not a loss, it's a lesson, and your highlights, just general things that you feel like it's worth noting. Because I've found that a lot of the time, especially if you're navigating running a business or being a founder for a company or entrepreneurship or anything that involves you really kind of stepping out of your way to build something bigger than yourself, your mind will always play tricks on you to suggest otherwise, to say why you can't do it. And when I started listing down all of the wins, all of the lessons, and all of the highlights, there'll be days I wake up and I feel like this isn't me. I'm not can't do it. But then, as mentioned, I have that whole list that says otherwise, through all the accolades and all the things I've been able to do, when at one stage I didn't think I could do it. Use these receipts as a way to continue to reinforce why you are the obvious choice for anything, whether it's an award, whether it's a client win, whether it's you being able to pitch for something. You have been selected for a reason. So do not let your inner thoughts tell you otherwise. Always use the receipts of success to back up your argument as to why you are the one that is best for this particular opportunity, whatever it may be. Secondly, I would say name what the situation is, and be honest. And when I say that, I mean, don't be too shy or too nervous to feel you can't let people know that you're feeling nervous, or you're feeling a bit scared or a bit anxious, or any of those emotions that you may have. Just don't feel that you can't let people know, because we're human. And as I mentioned in previous videos, being human is the best edge that we have right now in this landscape, with AI being around as well. We need to showcase who we are. We need to be honest and authentic with who we are as well. And we're not robots. There's going to be days where we're going to be feeling nervous. If there's a big pitch or a big opportunity for you, of course you're going to feel nervous, and it's natural to feel nervous. But if it helps, let people know. When people ask how you feeling, don't just say, "Oh, I'm doing fine." Just be honest. Be like, you know what, I'm pretty nervous, but I'm excited. In previous interviews, if I was having an interview for a job, they'll be asking me how I'm feeling, especially if it's something that I'm really wanting to get, like a job opportunity. I'll be honest. I'll be like, I'm a bit nervous, but I'm actually really excited to get to learn more about you and the company and being in a position where I can showcase my expertise to obviously help you see that I'm the right person for the job. That is what I'm about. Be honest. Life is too short to be there hiding behind a facade when your true value comes in your humanity and your human edge. So, with that, I would say be very forthcoming with how you're feeling. Of course, keep it in a professional vibe as well. Don't be going completely off the rails. If you're not feeling that, then you're not feeling like that. But it's important for you to be forthcoming with how you're feeling and allowing it to not overthrow you or overtake you. Use it as a way to manipulate that feeling and use it as a feeling where now you feel like you're in control of the feeling because you vocally let it out into the world. And now you have ownership of how that feeling is and how that feels with you because you said it. And through that, you're able to navigate in a much more effective manner, right? So that's number two. I would say for number three, shift the spotlight. I would say shift the spotlight away from yourself. I think a lot of the pressures that we have in most cases is that we put so much emphasis on what we need to do, why we need to do it, the impacts if we get this wrong. There's so many things going in our heads regarding us in the spotlight. And that's why I would always say to take the spotlight away from you. Be in a position where it's not about you, but it's about your target audience. It's about the end user. For me, even being on YouTube, talking to you guys directly, I'm doing this because I'm taking the spotlight away from myself. And the reason why I'm able to even do this a lot more comfortably compared to previous videos, and I'm more, I would say, God willing, more fluent with the way that I'm speaking with you guys, is because I'm realizing that in order to do so, I need to take the spotlight away from myself and also give it to you guys and provide that value that I always talk about. And by doing that, it takes a lot away from all the things I'm saying in my head and all the things that I'm doubting in myself. And for that reason, I'm able to do that by switching it over. And by doing that, I'm able to do what needs to be done. And I take the pressures away from myself and all those things that can play a part in imposter syndrome. You know what I mean? So that would definitely be the third part. Shift the spotlight. With the next part now, I would definitely say to reframe failure or things not working out for you. And as I said previously, in terms of the listing, you want to be able to look at your losses as lessons and think of it as no loss is a loss because it's always a lesson. It's always something that you have to go through in order to learn and in order to improve and become better. So with that in mind, I would always say, and I've always been an advocate for feedback. Every job, every client opportunity, everything, I'm always forthcoming on feedback because we don't grow and we don't develop our skills without that necessary feedback as well. And I think feedback in general is a huge blessing because it allows us to see the potential blind spots or the things that we may have missed just because we're living in it. The day to day, we're always doing things day to day that involves us being very fixated on particular things so much that we're not able to really look at it from a fresh perspective or with new fresh eyes. And that's why I always encourage you, if you're always working on these particular things, no matter how big or small, have someone that can you can advocate with and that can advocate for you with being able to look at this content and provide the actual feedback from an outsider's perspective and an outside point of view, because just from that will change your perspective and that will allow you to look at things that can improve in a way where you get that feedback. And that's where the imposter syndrome comes in when you're thinking you're suspectable. Is suspectable the word? No. Where you feel that you can't get the feedback or the feedback isn't something that you're fond of getting because of how you're going to feel or your emotions or whatever the case. But I believe that the more in tune you are with being able to get the feedback and being able to implement it in real time is how you'll be able to develop those skills that will allow you to continuously grow as an individual and start to overcome those elements of imposter syndrome, because imposter syndrome comes with doubt, and with doubt comes with the element of not knowing. And through being able to get feedback, you're always going to be in the process of knowing because you've asked for it and you've received it in a way that works best for you. So that's why I would say feedback and, reframing the element of what a loss is the most important part as well in terms of being able to overcome imposter syndrome. And lastly, what I would say is take your time and practice in small steps. Like, I appreciate it if you guys are watching this content and thinking, oh, I could never do this. But you can, because I used to think the very same thing. I used to think, no way can I be on YouTube talking directly to a camera and just talking for God knows how long, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes. But it comes with practice, and it comes with taking those small steps and being intentional with those small steps as well. Before I started putting this content out as well, I would always try and do the content and like listen back to myself and all that. And it was super cringe. I won't even lie, it was super cringe. But the process of doing it time and time again, and as I always say in the video, the reps, just get it done, build the reps and build the confidence. I feel that the more you do anything, the more you start to develop the skills, the more you start to be aligned with those things that help in the process of developing that content. And it all comes from taking the small steps. I used to just take like recordings of myself previously, just doing videos, just sharing my thought process of how I was feeling during that time as well. More specifically, when I left my job and I was there just putting these things day to day, trying to get stuff happening. And I would use that as a way to learn how to speak a bit better on camera. And obviously, there's loads I want to do and loads of ways I want to improve with my camera confidence, as mentioned. But it all comes down to taking those small steps. And then when you start to improve, you just continue taking those steps towards what you need to do. And then as you're more comfortable speaking for 10 minutes on the camera, then you start to extend it out. You start doing 15, then you start doing 20, then you start doing 30. And then throughout that process of you extending the time that you're talking, you are now in a position where you're learning how to structure and how to storyboard your content without even actually having to draft it down on paper, because you now have an understanding of how to speak effectively on camera and what you should say in order to follow the story effectively. It all takes time, it comes with practice. I have a long way to go, but the fact that I'm here now and I'm doing this content and sharing it with you all is a testament to the things that I said. So, honestly, those are the 5 things that I would highly recommend that you pay attention to, utilize as tools, and focus on in order to build, not even to build, well, yeah, to build the resilience to continue pushing forward with what you're doing in your journey, but to also be in a position where you can overcome elements of imposter syndrome and realize that it's a moment that will pass. It's only a moment in your head that you need to be able to utilize the tools to minimize that voice. Minimize that voice with the data. Like I said, collect the receipts, utilize the data. You need to be honest with yourself, name the situation, and be very frank and honest with how you're feeling in order to navigate. Tame the beast, tame imposter syndrome, and learn to navigate it without it taking control of you. Shifting the spotlight, focus on being able to understand the true mission behind your intention, or the true mission behind what you're doing. Once you understand your true intention behind the foundation of everything, then you're good to go. Then always reframe the ideas of what it means to lose. Remember, a loss is never a loss, it's always a lesson. If you change your mindset on that, you're always going to be in the process of learning, developing, and refining over time. And like I said, practice in small steps. Take your time. Take a moment to count those wins. Every small victory is a victory towards the success that you need to do. And I'm laughing because all these things is things that I had to learn in the process of doing it. And through doing it, you just become a lot more comfortable with who you are and what you have to offer and what you can say, and not feeling like if you say something wrong, then it's the end of the world, because ultimately it isn't. It's not the end of the world. It's just you being honest, authentic, and you're just a trustworthy person, because people can see that you're actively making a intentional effort to better yourself. And that all comes down to, as I said, minimizing that voice and understanding that your impact, your mission, and your power is a lot more important and a lot more impactful than imposter syndrome, as far as I'm concerned. But yeah, just a quick video that I wanted to share with you all. I think imposter syndrome has a big part in terms of how you navigate with developing your personal brand. It's not easy kind of navigating and developing a whole business model or aspect in your personality and who you are and how you showcase yourself. And I think it's time that more people learn to understand what comes with the process of doing that. And with that, it does come with areas of imposter syndrome that you need to tackle in order for you to be consistent with the stuff that you're putting out on the content or the work that you want to be doing in the long term as well. And the sooner you start, then the better it is for you to continue to pursue and navigate, just having less fear and a lot more proactive intentions and drive in order to get what you need to get. So with that, I hope that's useful. As always, please like, comment, and subscribe. I need to start saying that in the middle or more or less at the start of the videos, but we're getting there, man. We're learning, like I say, every single week. But as mentioned, if you liked it, please thumbs up, like the video. If there was anything that resonated with you, please give it a comment. Let me know what your thoughts are. Let me know if you agree. Let me know if you think I'm just chatting. Always happy to have a conversation in the comment section as well. So yeah, man, look after yourselves. I'll catch you next week. Peace out, man. Look after.